Hi, right, today we're going to talk a little bit about putting, but just more about hitting the ball out the centre of the putter, and more importantly, when we don't hit the ball out the centre of the putter, how much it can affect how far the ball rolls, and more importantly, the line it rolls on. What we want is happy, smiling faces on our putter, not sad. I don't know if that makes it sad, that just makes it upside down. It could be Australian for you Australians out there. Okay, so what we're going to use today, I've got some white tough tack. Now, back in my day, it was blue tack. I don't know whether we're more inclusive nowadays and we can get different coloured blue and white tack. But if you've got some of that, I'm going to explain in a second what I'm going to get you to do. I'm going to use a golf ball, okay? So firstly, we're going to have a quick look at what happens when we don't hit the ball out the middle of the putter. Right, so what I've got is I've got my finger and thumb just holding the club really lightly, you can see, so it just hangs. Now, this is my putter. It's an Odyssey. It's quite a nice one. Middle of the putter's been used occasionally, but what we're going to see is, you can see the black line is the center here. But what I'm going to do, I've got the golf ball here and I'm just going to tap it, and I want you to see how twisty that motion is as I hit the toe of the putter. Can you see how much it twists? And then all of a sudden we find the center of that putter. Can you see how much more back and through it goes? And as we go to the heel again, can you see how much twisting there is? Now, I believe this is moment of inertia. Sounds like I know what I'm on about, but it's just how squarely we hit it. And so it just shows, look how much better my putter reacts from that central point than it does from either side here. And this isn't a hugely heel and toe weighted putter. I think if you had one of the squarer ones or more D-shaped putters that you see on tour sometimes, all as good as each other, there's no one that's better than the other. You can imagine how much better and how much squarer and better we can hit the ball out the middle of the putter than we can out the toe or the heel. So one of the things that I think we're going to check on is how to do that now. So I'm going to show you a little drill of how to do that. Okay, so one of the things I see a lot when I'm teaching putting especially, is what we're all very good at doing is seeing from, let's say, the neck here, that part of the putter. And what we tend to do is we put the ball in the middle of what we can see. Now, on my putter, as you can see here, I've got a black line, and we've just established the black line is the center of what we want. But what I tend to see a lot of is people set the ball up out of the toe, because what they're doing is they're seeing the middle of this gap and they're putting the ball in the middle of that gap. So what I want everyone to be really careful of initially is that we've got the middle of that, whatever black line or whatever your putter has got, right in the center of the golf ball there. So you can see, so at address, that's out the toe. I have to make a conscious decision because my brain almost wants to put it into the middle of the gap I can see, because you can't see any of the heel because of the neck of the putter there. So we end up being too much out the toe. So just make sure, I think, every single time we have that first. Okay, so what we've got here is my putter again, and we've got the now white tack. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break off a little bit here, and I'm going to put it on the toe side of the putter. He says, maybe white tack doesn't stick to white putters. There we go. Same again the other side. I think you know what's coming up. Now, this is where it depends a little bit on where you play as to what you're going to use. So, depending, if you play somewhere really posh, okay, great golf course, let's say, you can probably use pound coins. So, if you're not in England, pound coin is $1 or probably dollar in the Australia and whatever, and a yen, I guess, out in Asia there, and I can put that on there. Now that's £2 on my putter there, as you can see. Now, if you play at a slightly more dodgy course, or more importantly, you play with people who are a little more dodgy, you might not want to get £2 out where they may be able to steal it. So I would take the £2 away, and I would use 5p's. So you can see I've put a 5p in there. It's a little bit cheaper. I don't feel so bad if one of my lessons nicks the 5p, but I might feel a little bit worse if they've nicked £2. 10p I could probably cope with. And again, you can see how I've just put the coins on there, and what this should do is, if we put it roughly in the right place, can you see how if I hit the ball out the middle, and I put it there, I'm just going to exaggerate it just a little bit, and as you get better, you can make this gap smaller. But you can see if I hit the golf ball there out of the center, let's do it this way again. So if I hit it out of the center there, you'll see that I'm not going to hit the coins, but if I hit it out of the toe and the heel. So what we can then do is put the ball down. Be careful, as I say, I'm putting my £2 back in my pocket. I don't trust Jake there. Jake's doing the video and he's a little bit dodgy. He's likely to have that £2 away before I've even set up with a putter here. So now when I put my putter down, can you see how the ball's in the middle of that? Now, if we make a good stroke, which should curve slightly inside, as we know, should be able to hit it, and you can hear it's a lovely strike. I might quit while I'm ahead there because I didn't hit either coin there, but this is a lovely little way of, obviously your feel now, if I were to hit it, let's say out the toe, so I set up a little out the toe and hit it out the toe, you can see how the ball does not run at all. So we can either use the coins, or feel free to, if you're scared and you're playing at a really bad golf course, use no coins at all. And you can use, obviously, as we've got this blue stroke white tack there, and again it will immediately tell you if you don't quite catch it out the middle. So let's say we go a little out the heel now, ball doesn't come off the putter because it hits that. But if you get it nicely out the middle, you can see we want the coin or we want to hit there, and that's a lovely little £2, 5p, 2 5p's, 10p or no p, whatever, drill, just to make sure that we're hitting the putter right out the middle. It is very difficult, I think, when you miss, when you're moving it here, to see exactly where you strike it, but this is a fantastic little drill to just make sure that you get it exactly out the middle every single time.